Hello, in this video I'm going to explain the three circular flow model. So far we've looked at producers and households, and today we are going to look at the finance sector. That includes banking, but it's not just banking, it's also things like stockbrokers and share trading and issuing bonds and that kind of thing. So there's quite a bit in there. Let's have a look at how they affect the households. Finance sector and the households. The big one, savings. If you've got money, what do you do with it? You put it in the bank or you invest it. You might buy some shares using something like Sharesies or an investment advisor who will say, hey, how about you go and do this? Or you might have a KiwiSaver account where you've got some money saved up for your retirement. We invest households and give money to the finance sector as a form of investment, and in return they receive interest, or you might receive dividends if it's money that has been put into shares. The other way that the finance sector helps households is through loans. We borrow a lot of money. Kiwis actually borrow a lot compared to other countries as well. So for example, you're buying a $450,000 house and you only have $20,000 as deposit. Well, you probably need a bit more than that, but you put in your deposit and then you borrow the rest from the bank. So you will be spending maybe up to the next 30 years paying back the principal, which is the money that you borrowed, and paying interest, which is your payment for the use of money on that money as well. And so that's a flow going back from the households back to the banks, and the loan is money coming from the banks to the households. Now, producers, they borrow money as well. If a producer wants to expand, maybe build a new childcare centre or something like that, they will borrow money. They can either borrow money from banks, they could issue what we call bonds, which is a special loan from people directly to the business, or maybe they could issue some shares where people own a little part of the company. And so all of those come through the finance sector. And usually we're talking about loans. So they lend some money, the producers build something, and then they use that to create more money. And then they will be paying that back to the finance sector through the form of paying back interest and principal, just like the households do. Sometimes financial sector will receive money from the producers if they've got money to save. So they might be doing really well, making quite a lot of money and deciding to put it away for when they want to expand, or if they've got some other expenses coming up. And so just like a household, a producer can have savings and invest them through the finance sector. Now look at our big circular flow model now. Ooh, one of my arrows has cut off the video, I think. So we've got savings on interest and loans and interest on savings going from the producers, from the households to the bank, the finance sector. Then we've got the same things, loans for investments and savings on interest and loans as the two flows between the producers. Then down the bottom here, we've got our payments for labour, payments for goods and services are our two money flows, and then our purple ones, we've got factors of production, and then we have goods and services going from the producers to the household, and I think that's just off the bottom of the screen. Now let's have a little example. We've got someone who's working, and that is a household. This time the person is a nanny working for a babysitting industry, and she receives a payment for her childcare. Now what's going to happen with that money? Oh, she's got some spare, so she's going to interact with the financial sector by investing in some shares. So she's put some money into Sharesies, and in return she will receive money when those shares increase in value, or when the business decides to give out a dividend, which is a part payment of the profit that they have made. Okay, thank you for listening.